Hello everybody, thanks for joining me today for another Business of Trucking video. If you like this kind of thing, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video. Check out the links in the description below this video for some discounts on some good products. We got a new merch tent down there with some cool stuff for everybody. And there's going to be a new link coming soon. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit today, but we'll just get more to it in the future. Today's not really about that, but it's going to relate. Anyway, today what we got to talk about, it's a little unpleasant, but I fear it might become a problem. So better we talk about it now than when it does become a problem, because then you'll know what to do. You can take care of it faster. What I'm talking about is broker non-payment. Let me explain kind of what's happened here in the last couple of years, which maybe will lead me to believe there may be some of this on the horizon. So the last couple of years, we all know the freight market was screaming hot. Tons of new owner-operators in the market, in the spot market, but also something, and we all know there was a ton of dispatch services pop up, but something people didn't talk about a lot is all the new brokerages. With freight so hot, anybody could be a dispatch service, anybody could be a broker, right? So we had an influx of these new brokerages. Now, there was also a lot of scam brokerages started up. A good bit of them were in Southern California, and it had been reported numerous times to the FMCSA. I didn't personally see them investigating or doing anything about it. But what they would do is they would rent an office space, and they would start up 4 or 5 different brokerages under that address and run them until they ran up the freight bills high and walk away and leave the bond company holding the bag and you, right? And then they would just redo the broker authority, start over, rinse and repeat. So if you're dealing, and it wasn't just Southern California, but that's where it was most prevalent. So if you're dealing with a company out of there and you check their credit, they don't have that little check mark next to their name, and they're looking a little like, oh, well, it's not that much money, I could give it a chance. You're taking a real risk, okay? Just know that it's a red flag. And to make it all worse, a good number of these companies, they weren't even in the United States. It was a shell address, and what are you going to do if they go bad? You're going to chase them to Pakistan to try to collect your freight bill? I highly doubt it. So just be leery of that. Now, also, there might be coming up of legitimate small brokerages going out of business, because with freight kind of slowing down, volumes falling off, rates falling, these increased numbers of brokers have to compete for the same freight with the shippers. They're going to cut each other's throat. And do you think a small brokerage is going to compete with, on the level with TQL? A lot of them are going to be forced out. And on the way out the door, they might think, hey, I'm on my way out. I'm not going to make any more money moving freight. I'm just gonna drop the bag here. I got $250,000 in freight on the books. I'm not going to pay it. I'm just going to walk away with the money. So we don't want to see that, and I don't want to see you fall for that. So credit check brokers. Credit check, credit check, credit check. Now, I had an email the other day from a guy that says, hey, I just had a broker ghost me on a $6,000 load, and they're like gone, Jack. I don't know what to do about this. So I went through and I found some information, passed it along to him, and said, hey, do this. It's your best bet. And we'll talk about that a little bit today. So if you have a broker that does not pay you for no good reason, obviously if there was a freight claim or something, they have the right to hold payment until it's all resolved. But if they're just ghosting you on payment and you believe they're not going to pay, what do you do? The first thing to do is, if you use a factoring company, turn to your factoring company and say, hey, I'm starting to get worried about this. If these guys are going to pay, let's look into this. Chances are they already are on top of it, because that's what factoring companies do. But just know that if they don't get paid and they already paid you, you have to pay that money back to the factoring company. Unless you have non-recourse factoring, which in certain cases, with certain kind of non-recourse factoring, you could have to pay it back anyway. So know the details of your factoring contract. But the factoring company has some resources that you don't. Maybe they have an attorney. They have a little bit of money to throw at it to try to collect. But first thing is work with them. See if you can get it resolved. I've never really used factoring. Never been against it. Just never, me personally, haven't had the need for it. But I'm starting to see the need for it, especially with so many new carriers in the past couple of years. And if we start to see instances like this, having a factoring company could help. And you need to credit check these people, these brokers. Now, there is places to do free credit checks. RTS Factoring offers a free credit check service, but it is worth noting that not all factoring companies are the same. I've been talking to a factoring company. They are owned by a bank, so they are very regulated, and they have resources. And that's the kind of thing that matters when a problem like this arises. So I'm going to continue to talk to them, try to build a relationship with them. Maybe I can get them on for a show. We can ask them some questions. But my goal is to bring you more information about it, because I'm starting to see, hey, there may even be a place in this for me to take part in it. But then after that, you've probably heard people say, "Oh, I'll just sue them and get my money back. I'll take them to court." Well, guess what? You're probably not doing that, and for a number of reasons. Number one is when you sign that contract to haul that load with that brokerage. In that contract, I almost guarantee you agreed to a venue. So if there was a conflict, you agreed that your venue would be, if they're in Southern California and you're in Connecticut, the venue, I almost guarantee you, is going to be Southern California, unless they chose Texas or some other friendly state. But they chose the venue, and you agreed to it. Number two, you most likely agreed to mediation, arbitration, and waived your agreement to be able to take them to court. So if you show up to court, they're just going to say, look at the contract and say, you don't even have the right to be here. Get out of here and go to mediation. And if you do their venue and go to court in California, it's going to cost you so much money. You're going to have to hire an attorney there, or you're going to have to appear there. It's probably going to cost you more than what the freight bill is. So it's not practical. Number 3, and 3A, the company probably no longer exists. You're probably dealing with a scam brokerage, and they are long gone, and you're not even going to serve them because you're never going to find them. And in addition to that, they don't have any assets. They probably never had an asset above and beyond their brokerage bond. And what are you going to get? Good luck. So you probably have no real legal remedy. So after that, what we're left with is their broker bond. So this gentleman that contacted me, he gave me the company's name, he gave me their MC number, and I did a little homework. So when you get a packet from a broker, there's a chance that in that packet they put a copy of their bond in there. Maybe they didn't. It's getting less common for a brokerage to put their bond in there, and let me tell you why. Because shady people get a hold of that bond, they print it out, or they Photoshop it, alter the document, put their own information in there, and then send it out and try to pass it off as their own bond. So people are stealing bond information. So the fact that if a broker does not send you a copy of their bond, it's not necessarily because they're trying to be shady. They're trying to keep from getting ripped off. But if you have it, you already have the information for their bond company. If you don't have it, here's how you find it. Let me flip the screen around here. Go into the computer. I'm going to show you how to find this company's bond information. And then after that, I'm going to tell you what to do with it. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to safer.fmcsa.dot.gov, and we're going to search this MC number. Now, I have no contract with these people, so I can talk about them all I want. The MC number we're going to search here is 1285667. Let's see who that brings up. Oh, Priority Express, right there. That's who we're looking for, Priority Express. Right here, it shows the general status of their company. Entity type broker, operating status not authorized. They have had their privilege to be a freight broker suspended or revoked. Oh, look at this. How about that? Diamond Bar, California. Los Angeles metro area. Couldn't be any more suspicious to me. So we got their information here. We got a phone number. I'm going to hammer the heck out of that phone number. That's what I'm going to do. But no response there. We already know that. We have their last MCS 150, 720-721. I guarantee you that's what it was. 5 months ago, they started this pump and dump. We're going to run 5 months of freight and then not pay it and bow out. So that's the information we got here. Let's see right here. It says to find out if this entity has pending insurance cancellation, click here. So let's click on that and see what we can find out about their insurance. We got to put in their MC number again, 1285667. Click on I am not a robot and search. Priority Express, Diamond Bar, California. Now let's click on this button here that says get their HTML report. Here it is. This is what we're looking for. Right here, authority status, common none, contract none, broker inactive. So they are not even an active brokerage anymore. This would be something too you could check as part of your checking on the broker before you haul a load for a new broker. That would be a good idea. Make sure they're not already pulling some stuff. So if you took it on their word, they can give you whatever documents they want that they're in business. Come here and make sure their brokerage is active. They might already have bowed out and still hauling freight on an inactive broker authority. You never know. Sometimes it takes a little bit for these things to catch up or get discovered. So right here, insurance required. They are required to have a bond. Insurance on file? No, they have no bond on file. Down here towards the bottom, we got, here's their BOC3. So if you need to serve them legal papers, let's click on that. SKB Trucking Permits. That's their BOC3 company. We got a list for every state here. Do you need to serve them some legal papers? Here you go. You got an address that applies to you. Pick whatever one is applicable to you. Serve them there. But that's not what we're doing right now. We're trying to find information on their bond. So right below it here, we got active pending insurance. Let's see if they have any active pending insurance or bond. No data available. That means they have none. Right below that, we got carrier details, rejected insurance, insurance history. Let's click on that. That's what we're looking for. All right, right here, bingo. Form 84, surety bond. Great American Insurance Company. We got two of them here. One was the previous one that got replaced on November 19th of 21. And look, here's the most recent one. Canceled on March 17th of 2022. It is now May 12th of 2022. So it's been 2 months since their bond canceled. I hope we can get this driver in on the money. Right here is, we got the bond insurance company. Great American Insurance Company. Address 301 East 4th Street, Cincinnati, Ohio. We got a phone number. We got a fax number. Let me flip the screen around here and I'm going to tell you what to do with this information. So now we have the information on their most previous, or their most recent bond holding. So what we want to do, that will be the company we want to turn to for payment, for filing against their bond. So we're going to call these people. We're going to say two things. Number one, we're going to say we're calling on behalf of my company, and we're trying to draw against the bond of, was it Priority Express Inc. Give them the address and say, we understand you were the most recent bondholder. How do we file? And they'll give you filing instructions. They'll mail it to you, email it to you, somehow they'll get it to you. And you need to start that process. Meanwhile, while you're waiting for that paperwork, you want to gather up your contract, your rate confirmation, bills of lading, lumper receipts, invoice, every piece of paper you have in relation to that load or loads, because you're going to need to include that with the bond filing. Now, it is important to realize that, the other thing you're going to ask them is, and they may not answer this, but they might, depends on who you get on the phone. You can say, could you look up that bond and see if it's been exhausted? What you want to know is the bond all paid out? Is the money gone? They're probably not going to tell you, but what the heck, you got them on the phone, ask them anyways. The reason that's important is filing against the bond is a timing thing. It's mostly first come, first serve. So if they got $150,000 in freight bills out there and everybody's filing on them, they're going to pay whoever files first is going to get paid first. There are some exceptions to that, like if there's a legal proceeding or something going on, a judge can say, just hold up, we're gonna figure this out, who to pay. But largely, it's going to become first come, first serve. So it's important, if you have a freight bill you don't feel good about, action, action, action. Be on it, file. Even if you think you might get paid, file anyways. If you get paid, that just gets disregarded. It's not a big deal. And this is something you can learn from my mistake. When I had the one time in 22 years, I had a freight bill go bad. It was for $800. It was for a company called Dogwood Express out of Arkansas. I'll never forget that name as long as I live, and it was only $800. I didn't know it was first come, first serve, and I missed out because the bond was exhausted by the time I filed. Learn from my mistake. Even if the bond is exhausted and you think, why file? I'm not going to get paid. File anyway. You never know. You never know. Something could happen in the future where they discover some assets of that company or something could pop up. If there's a lawsuit or something, a judge could make the decision. You never know. But if you don't file, you have zero chance of getting paid. If you file, maybe an outside chance later on down the road. They may discover, hey, that company was hiding some money in this bank account. We're going to go ahead and pay that out to its creditors. Not likely, but like I said, if you don't file, you'd have zero chance. Also, just for some satisfaction and to help prevent others from falling for the same, trap of that broker, make sure if you're using like a DAT service or some kind of load board, report that. You can leave reviews on the broker so that others can see it. Help others out with that. Now, it's important to know this is not legal advice. This is just what I would do and what I have done if I encounter such a situation. You have to be your own best advocate because nobody else is gonna help you along with it. So really be an attack dog. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. So squeak all over the place. You might have old emails from this company. Go through the emails and get people's names. Google is your friend. Facebook, LinkedIn. Try to find all these people and just hammer them with questions. Obviously, don't do anything illegal or immoral, but try to gather as much information as you can because you may be competing with a whole bunch of other people trying to get paid. And if you're the most annoying, they're going to want to make you go away first. But anyway, if you like this kind of thing, check out some videos on the screen now for some other trucking business videos. And take care, and we will see you next time.